Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea, and I am here to do a tag. It's been a while, and I'm doing the 12 Days of Christmas here on BookTube. And for the 12 Days of Christmas, I set myself up to do 3 tags. So this is my first one, and it's already day 5, so I'm a little behind, but I am happy to do it's called the Bookaholics Anonymous Tag. And I don't know if I consider myself a bookaholic, and this is definitely not anonymous, but I think it is a really fun tag. And I was tagged yesterday by my friend Pat at Book Chat with Pat. Well, today is when it was published. And um, it says here that no one seems to know where this tag originated. So I can't credit the creator of this tag, but I can credit my friend Pat for tagging me. And let's get to it. I am doing this off the cuff, so I don't have any notes. I'm just reading off Pat's video, the prompts from her description box to her tag video, and I will try my best to maneuver through my phone and be able to answer these questions as I go. Um, Question number 1. What do you like about buying new books? Um, I I guess I'm a collector at heart. I dream of someday being able to have a little personal library. I like curating my collection. So I like the excitement of being able to curate my favorite authors, get new titles to add to my collection of books that I want to read or books that I'm really excited about, or just books that I've already read and loved, and maybe I want a nice edition of, or maybe I never purchased the book. Maybe it was a book that I checked out from the library and I really loved it, and now I really want to have it on my shelf so that I can go back to it whenever I want to reread it. And so those are the kinds of books that I look for when I buy books. I'm looking for books that I've already read and loved and I want as part of my own personal collection. Um, Interesting titles, interesting topics, and I like a lot of nonfiction books. Maybe I don't know, like I don't plan to read them, but I see them and I think I want to add them to my collection. Like I'm thinking about cookbooks, I'm thinking about food writing, um, nature, a lot of like gardening and nature books. If it sounds interesting, I think it'll be a good addition to my collection. I tend to buy it. So I get excited about curating a collection of books that I think I will enjoy um, reading, but also like seeing on my shelves and just having in my own environment. I have books all over my house, so I like being able to look at books whenever I please, and I think it's a privilege, and I'm so grateful that I get to have that option to curate. I'm grateful that I have that option to curate a collection of books that make me happy, that bring me joy, that I enjoy. Question number 2. How often do you buy new books? Um, I think new books tend to trickle in throughout the year. So I think in this last year, 2025, um, I didn't buy books at all for the first three or 4 months because um, I adopted a dog and my dog passed away earlier this year. But in those first few months of the year with my dog, all of my extra cash went to veterinary bills or went to grooming services for my dog or just dog food. She was on a special diet of food. Um, she was part Dalmatian, and so she had to have a certain kind of diet for her sensitive stomach, and it was kind of expensive food. And then also just spoiled her with a lot of toys. So I had so much fun shopping for my dog, that I just didn't care to buy any books. I actually think I started buying books again after she passed. At first, it was part of just the grieving process. I wanted to have books, like poetry books, new poetry books to my collection that I could use to grieve. I think part of, like, one thing I learned about myself this last year is that when I'm grieving, when I'm particularly sad, nostalgic, or dealing with difficult emotions, I I find my way into uh, poetry, like poetry, a sanctuary of poetry. Like, I feel like poems are like blankets, like security blankets for me. So that was, I think, the first haul that I experienced after she passed away. After my dog passed away, I added some new poetry collections to my already nice poetry shelves, poetry collection. And then from then on, it just, typically with special dates, like my birthday was in the spring, and I treated myself to some new titles. If there's a big sale, I think I went to one library sale this year, and I spent like $7 or $9, something odd, like a $7 or $9 amount, and acquired a whole bunch of books. I went to the book festival in Austin, and I let myself splurge a little bit on some new books. And then, like, for a reading event like Yawgis, I hosted Yawgis, and for Yawgis, I did allow myself to spend on some new titles that I wanted to read. If there's a book club that I'm a part of, which there is, a local book club that I'm a part of, and so when I'm interested in the book that is chosen for that book club, I'll order it. So not every month, like, I'm not in that book club every month. I do also have a book club that I participate online with Melinda's book club online, and that's not a book every month either. So, like, every other month, if it's a book that I don't already own, then I do purchase. So generally for book clubs, this year I did the BookTube prize, so I had to get some of those books. I tried to get some from the library, some from Scribd or Everend, but I got rid of Everend, so that's no longer an option for me to get books. So yeah, I just sporadically, like, throughout the year, depending on what's going on. Question number 3. Bookstore or online book shopping, which do you prefer? I think I probably spend more money at my local bookstores. I probably do online book shopping a couple of times a year. If I'm buying books online, I'm going through bookshop.org or directly through, like, a bookstore like Who's Books in Dallas. And I think I allowed myself to do some online bookshop. Oh, thrift books too. I ordered some thrift books. So I allow myself to do some online shopping maybe about 3 times a year if I pre-ordered a book. So if I pre-ordered a book, then that's going to come, and it's going to come whenever I pre-ordered it. I think I pre-ordered maybe 3 books this year. So pre-orders, and like for my birthday, I think I did some book shopping online. Thrift books, I was looking for particular books, and I ended up ordering online, but I usually let my cart build up, and I like to be able to get the free shipping. So I have to meet a certain amount in order to get free shipping. So I kind of will put things in my cart or on my wish list. And then when I have enough that I can get the free shipping, then that's when I place the order. So I have like carts, but they don't always get purchased. I think I'll talk more about that in a little bit. Question number 4. Do you have a favorite bookshop? I mean, I support my local indies. I like going and like doing just random day trips to other cities around me. So like um, there's a local indie in Brownsville, Texas named Bookstore, and I go there about maybe once or twice a year, and I like to be able to support them. There's another little bookstore on the beach, or like, well, there's one on the beach and then there's one by the bay, and I like going to that. Like, I do a little beach trip, maybe like once a year, to go and do some book shopping at the bookstores on the beach and at the bay. Um, and then I have a local indie in my hometown that I support. I participate in their book club, and I just visit from time to time. And every once in a while, I find some little hidden gems in that little bookstore, and I get lucky in that way. So my favorite bookstore, I think I have two. I really like Who's Books in Dallas in the Oak Cliff neighborhood, and I also really like Brasso's Bookstore in Houston. So if I go to Houston, I definitely want to go in and shop at Brasso's. If I go to Dallas, I just recently discovered Who's Books last fall when I went to a conference in Dallas, in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So I really like Who's Books. I've been trying to support them this year, and I really like that. There's also a little children's bookstore in my area that I really like to support. So yeah, Who's Books and Brazos are like the two Texas ones that are my favorite, and then all of the local indie ones I really like to support because I like having them close by. Um, okay, back to the questions. Prompt number 5. Do you pre-order books? I mentioned this. Yes. Yes, I pre-order books. Um, I haven't pre-ordered books for 2026 yet, but I do have a little list of books I would like to pre-order. I'll talk to you about my pre-orders. I think I was keeping a list. Let me see. So this is what I do. I have the Kindle app, and within the Kindle app, you get to have wish lists, like different lists. So I have a bunch of lists, but there's one here where I put books I want to pre-order. And so these are some of the books that I want to pre-order. I have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 books that I want to pre-order. The first one coming out in February 17, 2026. I have Hot Chocolate on Thursday, a novel by Michiko Aoyama. And then coming out March 10th, 2026, I have Judy Blume, A Life by Mark Oppenheimer. I'm super excited about this. I love Judy Blume. I've been trying to work on a author highlight video that was inspired by Sui last year. She did an author highlight on her channel, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm trying to read a little bit more of Judy Blume's books, and I would like to read this biography that's coming out this year. And then I have on March 10th, 2026, Whidbey, a novel by T. Kira Madden. I'm really interested in that one. And then this next one is definitely one that I need to get for myself. I'm like super excited. I love the topic of this. I love the title of the topic, and I love the author. And on March 10, 2026, I'm expecting to get The Best Dog in the World, Essays on Love by Alice Hoffman. I think I need this book as part of my grief um, process. I hope it's a book that is going to make me laugh and ugly cry, which I feel like is something I need to do. Um, Especially because it's coming out the month my my little doggy passed away in March of this year, and this book is coming out in March, so I think it's going to be perfect timing as I'm getting to the 1 year anniversary of my dog's passing. And then the next book I have on my list here is also on March 10th, 2026, and it's called Frida's Cook, a novel by Florencia Etcheves, translated by Beth Fowler, I believe. But that sounds really cool. I love Frida Kahlo. I'm a little obsessed with Frida Kahlo. And the publisher summary here says this colorful, emotive, historical debut, and I love a debut novel. I'm all about it. Whisks us to the home of Frida Kahlo, where food, art, and love weave together an unforgettable story of friendship and loyalty with a bright Coyoacán as the vivid background, a hidden painting, a buried past, a legacy waiting to be uncovered. It's in Mexico City in 1939. Young and determined Nayeli Cruz flees from her Oaxaca home to arrive in Mexico City with neither friends nor prospects. Alone and armed only with her sharp wit and extraordinary talent in the kitchen, she finds herself in front of La Casa Azul, the home of Frida Kahlo. As she begins work as the artist cook, Nayeli is pulled into Frida's world of pain, passion, and defiance. But it isn't long before, amid the vibrant tapestry of flavors, scents, and colors, the two women form a deep bond, one that will shape the course of Nayeli's life and leave behind a secret buried in art. And then it's also like I think it's two storylines. So then there's in Buenos Aires, present day, Paloma, Nayeli's granddaughter, stumbles upon a mysterious painting depicting her grandmother as a young woman. The artist's identity is unknown, but the artwork's existence threatens to unravel long-held family secrets. As Paloma delves into her grandmother's past, she uncovers a tale of passion, betrayal, and resilience that challenges everything she thought she knew about the one woman who raised her. I am so excited. I don't think that there is a more me book than Frida's Cook by Florencia Etcheves. And then March 31st, 2026, I'm excited about the book Faces, a memoir, and it's by Brandy. I love Brandy. I grew up with Brandy. Um, she was one of my favorite artists when I was a teenager. I loved her music. I could hear the R&B playing in my my room. Just love Brandy. So I'm really excited about this memoir. And then a new favorite author that I just discovered this year is Amy Nezuka Matatil, and she's having a new poetry collection out also in March titled Night Owl Poems. And so I'm excited to um, acquire this new book. I've been collecting Amy Nezuka Matatil's books, and I'm excited to add this next one to my collection of like collecting her books. So anyway, those are the books that I am hoping to pre-order. Next, prompt number 6. Do you have a monthly book buying limit? I mean, I don't, but I don't go crazy. Um, I I'm not rich. I'm a social worker. Um, I I live pretty like down to earth, um, middle class. Um, so I don't ever have like a whole bunch of money to spend. So I don't go crazy. And I don't give myself a monthly budget, but I I don't know. I mean, I don't buy books every month, I don't think either. So it just depends. Like if it's my birthday, then maybe I've gotten some money, some gift cards, and I allow myself a little extra splurging. When I went to the book festival, then I allowed myself a little extra splurging. And then if I'm traveling or like, different things happening, I might I might spend here or there, but I don't think I ever like go crazy. I think I have pretty good um, balance with my book spending. I think the only thing that does get kind of crazy, I did at one point, and I had to like stop, is the Kindle deals. I was subscribing to the Kindle deals, and every day I got like Kindle deals, and it was hard, and then I ended up, spending 99 cents here, 99 cents there, $1.99 here, $1.99 there. And then I wasn't reading those books, and I was like, those little 99-cent purchases add up. And so I ended up like unsubscribing from those emails. So I don't get Kindle deals anymore. But I needed to stop spending those little 99-cent um, buys, like almost not daily, but every other day or so. A few times a week, I was buying a Kindle deal. So that stopped. That was probably something that I stopped doing pre-pandemic. I haven't done that in a long time. And then sometimes when I purchase audiobooks, I feel like that can get kind of expensive. So I try to like be mindful of my audiobook spending too. Next, book buying bans, are they something for you? Um, I try. Like, I am going to try the Read What You Own challenge, where I try to just prioritize reading from my shelves. Like, before I go shopping, can I read something that's already on my shelves? I don't think I'm good at complete book bans. Like, I don't think that I can tell myself you're not buying any books. I did just organically when I adopted my dog, and I was prioritizing her needs and her joys. So she came first, and I, would prefer to buy her a new toy than to buy myself a book, or, get her like some fun treats and, you know, not splurge on myself as much. So, um, I feel like I I I think that I try, but I'm not very good at holding the line of like no books. If it's not because I have like something that I'm prioritizing, um, then I just let myself buy books as I need to, as I want to. Um, then question number 8, how big is your wish list? Okay, my wish lists are private. So I don't have a wish list where I'm telling my family and friends to go shop from. I have more than like I call it a wish list, but I'm the only one who sees it. It's more like a TBR. It's like a running list of books that are grabbing my attention, and I think I would like to purchase them because I want to collect them. It's part of like the collection I'm curating. And so how big is it? I don't know. It's probably quite large because I have multiple wish lists. Like I mentioned, if I go on thrift books because like for example, I was reading the Moonstone. I was listening to the audiobook, and I was starting to get kind of confused, and I thought I need the physical book. So I went on thrift books, and then um, I didn't just want to get the Moonstone, so then I had another book, and then I was doing the Guadalupe Reinas event, and I needed a book from there. So once I got to the point where I had 3 books, and those 3 books were going to cover the no shipping fee, then I was able to make that purchase. But I had a cart, I had to kind of wait and kind of collect titles in my cart. If I'm not going to be able to make a purchase, then that's when I add it to a wish list. So on bookshop.org, for example, I have a huge wish list, and most of the stuff in my wish list on bookshop.org are actually cookbooks, because sometimes I just cannot bring myself to spend a huge amount of money on like cookbooks. So I want these cookbooks because I like collecting vegan cookbooks, but I always kind of think maybe later this would be nice to have, but I don't need to have it, and so I ended up putting it in my wish list for um when I'm able to. And then the next question is, which 3 books from your wish list do you wish to own now? So let me go to my bookshop.org. Um, so I have my cart, and in my cart I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books in the cart, and I keep waiting and kind of thinking like, well, do I really need this? Can I, you know, put this in my wish list? So like the other night I was going through and like taking things off, putting them in my wish list. Okay, I'm gonna do 1 from my wish list and 2 from my cart. So from my wish list, I have a cookbook titled Masa, and let me look it up. It's Masa: Techniques, Recipes, and Reflections on a Timeless Staple by Jorge Gaviria, and it is about the corn dough, I guess is what you would say. Masa is what we use to make like tortillas, sopes, gorditas, huaraches, like, and it says here, it's in my cart, um, it's in my wish list. The description of it is a James Beard Award nominee, 2023 IACP Award finalist, national bestseller, and best cookbook of 2022 from the Los Angeles Times, Food and Wine, the Washington Post, San Francisco Chronicle, NPR, and Saveur. Masa is your guide to making authentic, high-quality masa from scratch and cooking with it in your home kitchen. It's time to learn the way to a perfect taco, and it also starts with the masa. Like sourdough before it, craft masa is on the brink of global culinary movement. Jorge Gaviria's company, Macienda, has become a proxy message board at the center of the swelling masa conversation, and with this cookbook, he completes the story of how to create this special building block from scratch, brimming with history, replicable techniques, and reflections from masa authorities, including third-generation tortilleros and acclaimed chefs. Masa reveals the beauty and long-standing traditions behind this elemental staple. In addition to teaching how to make masa from dried corn kernel to fully realized dish, this book also shows cooks how to use masa in 50 base recipes for tortillas, pozole, tamales, and more. So why is this something that I really want now? Because my grandmother, um, she she was born and raised in Mexico, in the northern part of Mexico. Her grand, no, my great grandfather, her father, was indigenous, and her mother was Spanish, and she would always talk about how growing up she would make the masa like from the corn, like actually like process it, like actually like grind it. Grind it is the word I'm looking for. Grind the corn kernels into a masa with nixtamal, and so then that would create this powdery kind of like a flour, but it's a corn based kind of a flour. And then from there, you would, add the water and the salt and be able to make tortillas or any other kind of like corn based dough for like gorditas or sopes or something like that. So I always grew up hearing her stories, and nowadays it's really easy for me to go to the grocery store and get the tortillas already like made, and then you just bring them home and you put them on the comal. I do buy maseca, and I use the maseca. I add water, and then I make my own little dough, corn dough, when I want like home cooked tortillas, like fresh off the grill. But it seems pretty simple, and it's it's no longer an art form. It's just kind of like, it feels like a shortcut. Like I feel like I don't have to grind the corn. And it's not that I really want to go into my backyard to grind corn, but I feel like there, when I would hear my grandmother tell the stories of how much time it took and how laborious it was, and just like the love that went into like producing this flour, this corn kind of flour, it just felt like such a labor of love. And I feel like I'm missing out, and I want to learn more about the history and the process for doing it from scratch, because I've never been able to do it from scratch. I mean, I am of the generation that it's just so easy to go and grab the tortillas or already have the maseca and just add the water and then here you go. But I always feel like it's my tortillas are not my grandmother's tortillas. So I want to be able to, maybe it's part of my own grief and my own missing my grandmother and missing her cooking. Maybe I want to connect with her in that way, her memory, my heritage. And so I feel like this this book is calling to me, and it's a book that I did. It's on my wish list, and I did tell my family I wanted it for Christmas last year, and I didn't get it. Sorry, I'm messing with my camera so much today. Um, I didn't get it because I don't think people thought I was actually going to make my own masa from scratch. But I really, even if I only get to do it once, um, I just want to learn something. So I think that's another reason why I really love reading, is because I love learning. Okay, so that's from my wish list. Then I'm just gonna go off my cart. There's this one book that I've been wanting for a while. I added it to my cart during August, and I didn't get to get it, but I love Ibiza Boy. Ibiza Boy is the author of Pride, which is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and I loved Pride. I've also read other books by Ibiza Boy. Ibiza Boy writes a lot of YA literature. She has this biography of Octavia Butler, and it's titled Star Child, a biographical constellation of Octavia Estelle Butler. It's YA. It's a Coretta Scott King Author Honor Book, a Walter Dean Myers Honor Book, from the New York Times bestselling author and National Book Award finalist, a biography in verse and prose, which is perfect for me. Of science fiction visionary Octavia Butler, author of Parable of the Sower and Kindred. I have not read either one of those, but I have read Octavia Butler's short stories, and I really love Octavia Butler, and I want to learn more about her and her biography. And so Ibiza Boy writes this in prose and poetry, and I just want so badly to read this book. So I haven't purchased it, but it's been sitting in my cart, and it's one that I'm gonna get. Um, Furthermore, the description, so that's acclaimed novelist Ibiza Boy, illuminates the young life of the visionary storyteller Octavia E. Butler in poems and prose born in the space race, the Red Scare, and the dawning civil rights movement. Butler experienced an American childhood that shaped her into the groundbreaking science fiction storyteller whose novels continue to challenge and delight readers 15 years after her death. I cannot wait. I really love this book. I love that it's a young adult biography. Um, and so it's accessible, and it's by someone that, I mean, I love E.B. Savoy and I love Octavia Butler, and just want it so badly. And then the other one that it's because I could tell you my cart, like I want all of these books in my cart. I guess the other one that I'm going to talk about is a poetry collection, and it's titled Mexicans on the Moon by Pedro Iniguez, Speculative Poetry from a Possible Future. And this, I think this is, okay, so this is written by Pedro Iniguez, and it's, the introduction is by Gabino Iglesias. This is a winner of the Bram Stoker Award for Superior Achievement in Poetry, winner of the SFPA's Elgin Award for Best Speculative Poetry Book. Includes the Dwarf Stars award-winning poem Perish and Live Forever. Includes the Riesling award-winning poem A Black Hole is a Melting Pot That Will Make Us Whole. Weaving science fiction, Mexican folklore, and magical realism, this 50-poem collection explores the wonders and pitfalls of humanity in a future yet to come. Experience a faraway world where sapient flora sing melodic tunes. Behold orbit-plunging taco trucks as they make planetfall. Observe as El Cucuy becomes a stowaway on a space shuttle. Witness a neurologically enhanced lobster become president of the United States. That sounds hilarious. Bear the agonizing wave of shrink-ray gun violence plaguing public schools. All these sights and more await in Mexicans on the Moon, speculative poetry from a possible future. Iniguez takes us on a galactic journey to a poignant future in Mexicans on the Moon through entertaining and thought-provoking poetry by adding powerful twists to current social and ecological situations. I completely enjoyed the haunting tales told in Iniguez's remarkable poem, Series a Poet Who Knows How to Engage the Reader. And that is a blurb by Linda D. Addison, award-winning author, HWA Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, and SFPA Grand Master. I mean, a little bit about Pedro Iniguez is a Mexican-American horror and science fiction writer from Los Angeles, California. He is a Riesling Award finalist and a Best of the Net and Pushcart Prize nominee. His work has appeared in Nightmare Magazine, Never Awake, an anthology of dream horror, Shadows Over Main Street, Volume 3, and Qualia New, Volume 2, among others. Forthcoming, his horror fiction collection, Fever Dreams of a Parasite, is slated for a 2025 release from publisher Raw Dog Screaming Press. I need to check that out. I didn't know. So, yeah, those are 3 books that 2 are in my cart, 1 is in my wish list. And if I could, hit purchase right this minute, I would, but I can't, so I have to wait a little longer to get them. But I do think I will get them next time I have some money to splurge on books. Tag others. Okay. Cat, Curious Cat. I tag you. I tag. Let me see, who else can I tag? I'm just gonna go through who I've interacted with. Sue Jackson, I tag you. And Suey, I tag you. And Priscilla from Evening Reader. And I think that, I'm going through the last people that I've interacted with here through comments or things like that. So I mentioned Kat, Suey, Sue Jackson, and Priscilla. I'm pretty sure Angelia's already been tagged, and I'm pretty sure Melinda's already been tagged. So if you haven't been tagged, then tag you're it. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year. Hasta la próxima.